In the history of all the January winter transfer signings, all winter transfer window, we've never seen Arsenal being at the helm or being the champions of this transfer window. But as it stands, Arsenal looks like they are going to be the most team that is going to be looking out to making very many signings. As it was last January, Arsenal never really put in a signing, even though they lost their talisman and captain Aubameyang to Barcelona to an extent that they even had to pay £7 million on top of his leaving on Arsenal on a free to enable his registration in the La Liga board because of the financial constrictions that Barcelona were having. Newcastle were the champions of the January transfer window of this year, but obviously that of next year, Arsenal are looking like they are going to be the champions. They are going to champion it because of the following. One, Tielemans to Arsenal is back on the ladder. Leicester City are really waiting for Arsenal to make a final attempt, according to the Mirror. Then Granit Xhaka is back in training, and obviously Pablo Mari is also back in training. You know, he was stabbed. Those are the 3-4 stories we're going to discuss onto the Rokani Media Football as we close down our day of transfer, and we want to congratulate the Arsenal player known as Kylian Mbappe upon his reaching the World Cup finale, where they're going to tussle a team which goes by names of Argentina. More to that is going to be among the last topics to discuss about, because I want to reveal to you the amount of money Arsenal is going to be paid by FIFA for having their players at the World Cup. I'm going to reveal that to you when we are closing down this video. But let's get into a Yuri Tielemans story that many Arsenal fans are really waiting in to watch, especially Cherop Alex is one of those that really wants to see Tielemans coming to Arsenal. But right now, I'm having a story coming from the Mirror highlighting on the latest update or upgrade of Leicester, Leicester's Tielemans to a club which goes by the names of Arsenal, as Arsenal are really searching in for another central midfielder to come in and really cover up for Granit Xhaka, because Xhaka looks like he's replaceable at Arsenal. When you look at Arsenal, by the way, Granit Xhaka is replaceable because no player can come in and get that job done. That's it. Thomas Partey has the likes of Sambi Lokonga, he has the likes of El Nini, but Xhaka looks like he lacks a person to come up and act as a backup. And bear in your mind that he's 30, he is really nearing the exit of his career at Arsenal, because Arsenal during Arsene Wenger, they used not to give a player who reaches 30 years a contract, but Granit Xhaka has been granted one. He's going to be at Arsenal until 3 years from now, until he's 33 years of age. That is 2025. That's when he's going to be there. Now, the Mirror has come out and told us that Leicester are braced for Arsenal to make a final attempt to snap up Yuri Tielemans next month before he becomes a free agent in summer. This is what the Mirror is telling us about, and I want to be so much objective about this. I respect the Mirror, and they might be having a grip at what they're saying, that now Leicester is okay to lose Yuri Tielemans. And if at all that's the case, it will be a very good move for Leicester to get in my money and Arsenal to get in Yuri Tielemans. I 100% believe if Arsenal get in Yuri Tielemans, they will increase on the number of goals they score. And if at all you see that Mikel Arteta is not going in for centre forward in the January transfer window, that means he's going to bring in midfielders that are central and attacking in nature, who can provide goals for Arsenal. Now, if Tielemans is playing a team like Leicester City and he can accomplish a season with 10 goals and 5 assists, that is Yuri Tielemans, what if he comes to a team like Arsenal that has most of the possession and they act a lot into the final third of the opponent? And you know that Tielemans is good at really getting long, short ranges to the goal of the opponent, and most of the goals he scores are outside the 18 yards box area. It's very rare, by the way, to see Yuri Tielemans scoring a goal in the 18 yards box area of the opponent, unless otherwise it's a penalty. Most of the goals are long ranges from some yards of the 18 yards box area of the opponent. So I believe that is a plus. And if at all Mikel Arteta wants to go on and really create a midfield that is dynamic, that can take Arsenal to the next level and introduce a new formula of attack, Tielemans is paramount. I believe that Xhaka has been really pivotal and integral in the Arsenal season. I won't come out and say no to that. That has been really okay, and we've evidenced it. But I think there is more of a player in Tielemans than in Granit Xhaka. People won't come out and really agree it because they see Xhaka is lighting up at Arsenal, but Tielemans is a different breed. He's a different species. If he's docked into that Arsenal midfield, lots of things will change. His intensity, his work rate, you see, and there is something that he does, his positional discipline that Xhaka doesn't have. You see, Arsenal suffered a lot when Xhaka was playing in a CDM position most of the times until Thomas Partey really got back. You remember those games when Xhaka was really played as a CDM when Thomas Partey was away? Arsenal was suffering, and the positional discipline of Xhaka is really way off. At the age of 30, Xhaka is not learning something new. Tielemans, at the age of 25, 26, he's one of those midfielders that every team could go in for. At Arsenal, you put him in that midfield with Thomas Partey, obviously you are going to enjoy that pivot. Why? Thomas Partey will get more license to go in front, all up front of the pitch, because we will communicate with Tielemans and tell, please sit in for me, I've gone, I'm making this run. That can't happen between Granit Xhaka because Xhaka enjoys more of the game when he is really going forward. So I believe the communication of Tielemans and Thomas Partey will be on point with the likes of Odegaard in that midfield. That will be a very sensational midfield three that could go ahead and break every midfield in the Premier League. So I believe in that. Secondly, why Arsenal need Tielemans is that Tielemans is wanted by every club. Barcelona want Tielemans, PSG want Tielemans, Madrid want Tielemans, Liverpool wants Tielemans, United wants Tielemans, Man City once wanted Tielemans, and I know the departure of Ilkay Gundogan might force Mikel Arteta to go in and really go out for him again. So he's a player that is wanted by every team in there for you, and he wants to go out of Leicester City. We don't know whether on free or he wants to be sold. Now, for Leicester, they have lots of things to weigh in. To either let out one of their best players towards the World Cup that has seen Leicester City gate out of the relegation zone, and I think they're now 13th in position, or let him stay. They either let him go or stay because of his form. He has been so much integral in what they've achieved. Him and James Maddison have been so much integral in what they've achieved to see to it that they are no longer at the bottom of the table. Remember, 6 games into the league, Leicester was at the bottom. Rumors were everywhere that Brendan Rodgers was going to be sacked. But Tielemans missed out on a move to Arsenal. But Arsenal wants Yuri Tielemans. It's now coming to 2 years. Arsenal chasing for Tielemans. Are they still in for him? The Mirror is telling us that Leicester is waiting for Arsenal to go in and put in their final attempt to sign the player. On how much? Let's wait and see. On the other side, I believe Leicester have now ganged up to see to it that they might want to keep the player and go out for free provided they stay in the Premier League. Reason being, the amount of money you lose when you are not in the Premier League is so much more than the amount of money you're going to get from Tielemans. Reason being, if you are to sell Tielemans, you're not going to sell him more than £15 million in January. That's it. But when you stay in the Premier League, you can even get close to £200 million. So if you're relegated, that means you're really getting limited money, and that will lead to your bankruptcy. We all know the financial situation of Leicester City, not so? It's known very well, and obviously that's why they want to stay in the Premier League, to see to it that they get in more money to refresh their team. The fact is, Maddison next season I think is moving on. Tielemans is going to be moved on. Wesley Fofana left, so they need to go all out and reinforce their squad, but they need to first stay in the Premier League to stay attractive to players that they want to sign. So let's wait and see what's going to happen from Yuri Tielemans as Leicester City is waiting for Arsenal's final attempt in January to see to it that they really bring up this player in the know at the club of Arsenal. So let's leave that at that. Now, Granit Xhaka is one of those players that we are knocked out of the World Cup by a team called by a team called Portugal. They were annihilated to the bone marrow 6-1 by Portugal, though later Portugal was knocked out by Morocco, which Morocco team has been knocked out of the semi-finals by a team called France. So, as noted by Mikel Arteta in his post-match press conference, Xhaka has resumed training with Arsenal in Dubai following the World Cup exit. So, Xhaka is up and he's training with the Arsenal team. Let me show you some of the photos that we've gotten from Dubai. That is it. Arsenal has not yet returned to London, but I think on Thursday, tomorrow, they might go back to London. That is Xhaka training up with Arsenal in Dubai to see to it that he prepares for the game against Juventus. They are going to play via the weekend. That is Granit Xhaka. He has returned in training with the Arsenal team. So, let's go to the other story. You know a player known as Pablo Mari. He was stabbed. Towards I think the beginning of November, not so. Towards the beginning of November, and the person that stabbed him stabbed the other person. And Pablo Mari in his own words said he saw someone die, but for him, he thanks God that he survived and he's still alive. So he's back, and we've been told by Vasegilalosa, Pablo Mari, who is on loan at Monza from Arsenal, returned to training with the team today for the first time since recovering from the stabbing in October. That is great news for the player called Pablo Mari, because he is there on loan from Arsenal, and one of the clauses included in Monza making a permanent payment for this player indicates or reads, if at all Monza stays in the Serie A, Arsenal are going to receive 5 million euros from AS Monza. That's it. That's the contract for AS Monza and Arsenal as far as this guy is concerned, Pablo Mari. Remember, AS Monza belongs to the former AC Milan chairperson or president, Silvio Berlusconi, and it's also in Milan. So Monza is one of those teams that has gone ahead to sign very good players like Pablo Mari, who was the first signing of Edu at Arsenal. That's the current situation of him, and let's wait and see what's going to happen. Now today, however much he played only some 45 minutes in the game of Tunisia. Not Kylian Mbappe, it's Arsenal's Rolls Royce defender by the names of William Saliba is into the World Cup final with France. France beat Morocco, the African side, by 2-0, and those goals were scored by Theo Fernandez and the other guy that really came off the bench to make it 2-0. Now, Saliba is in the World Cup final. Congratulations to William Saliba. Obviously, he's with Rafael Varane, Konate, there is Mbappe, and very many others that are really lighting up the World Cup, the likes of Antonio Griezmann. They are really leading that team, and obviously they want to go on and defend the World Cup. But defending it is going to be hard because they're going to be facing Lionel Messi. But the bad thing is that he's not playing either for you, but we expect him to gain lots of experience. And the beauty of Arsenal is that to Arsenal is simple. They're having a player who is at the World Cup, not playing, physically fit, meaning that he's going to be thrown directly into that team of Arsenal that's going to play against West Ham on the 26th, because this player has not been playing games for France. As you saw Ben White at the England national team, that's what Saliba has been with. So if I told Mikel Arteta threw Ben White as soon as returning the game of AC Milan that they played in Dubai, where Arsenal went by 2-1, why not do the same to Saliba when he returns? So let's wait and see, because Saliba has not been playing games, but wish him all the best in that finale. But there is something that has led us to that. Saliba staying in the World Cup confirms to us that Arsenal will receive £2.1 million from FIFA for giving 10 players at the World Cup. That is it. So Arsenal has gone ahead to earn some £2.1 million from FIFA. One will look at that as a little money, but this is the amount of money that Arsenal needs to go in and bank to its accounts to go on and rectify its dying picture in the UEFA financial fair play rule. You know that very well, that Arsenal is under surveillance and they need every penny to come in through to see to it that they don't violate that policy. So that's good amount of money. And secondly, even if it is not put there, it can be used to top up and really bring in the Mikhailo Modrics, the Tielemans of this world, the Indikas, and very many others at the field of play at the Emirates, which will be something great for Arsenal. No, so tell me what you think about Yuri Tielemans to Arsenal in January. Obviously confirming to us that Leicester is waiting for the final attempt of Tielemans in January. The Mirror confirming to us. Your reactions are welcome in the comment section below of all the 3 stories we talked about, all 4. Thank you for keeping it Rokani Media Football. Guys, have a good night, and I'm going to be back tomorrow early, around lunchtime. We will have our first video up. I don't know it's going to be all about what, but it's going to be about transfers, because we are into the transfers, and we thank God that the World Cup is coming to an end by Sunday. Obviously the World Cup will be done and we'll be having a new all world champion taking the trophy back home, all a new Argentina team winning the World Cup. May the Lord bless you abundantly. A sign out for now. See you later, my mates.